This is your psychic girlfriend, Robin Richardson. And if you're like me, you're interested in how the universe works and in all things mystical. So let's explore it together. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the podcast. Hello. Welcome back. I'm Robin Richardson, your psychic girlfriend, and we have another episode here on the psychic insights into Laura Owens' family history and family secrets. Now, I have been obsessed with this case, and I just thought, you know what? I am very curious about Laura Owens' family, and so I decided to do a little psychic session. And just a disclaimer, these are my opinions, my psychic opinions, for entertainment purposes only, but I kind of hope you are as interested in this as I am. So we are going to go a little deeper today. It's a little off the beaten path again, but we're going to look psychically into her family dynamics, energetic ties, and what may be knowingly or unknowingly enabled. So I'll be sharing a psychic reading on Laura's mother, Jan Black, the wife of radio host Ron Owens, her sister, and the broader family system that may have helped create or sustain this pattern of deception. And I'll also be addressing the past pregnancy claims and whether they were part of the same manipulative energy we're seeing now. So let's dive in. I'm a psychic. I've been doing this work since 1990, and this case just kind of made me super curious. So I thought I'd have some fun with it. I use the Lenormand cards. So I'll be talking about the cards that I pulled and kind of the questions I've asked. So how I work is I basically just say to the universe, let's talk about Jan. What does she know? And what is her role? And then I pull the cards and then I get the answers. Okay? So that's how I work. Just want you to know. So let's go. Jan Black. What does she know? And what's her role? So what I pulled was the coffin, the key, and the man. The man and women showed up a lot of these. So this card shows that Jan holds a deep and pivotal role in this story. Coffin signals hidden truths and buried dynamics. And she knows more than she's ever admitted, which kind of know this. The key shows that she may hold crucial information that could shift the narrative if ever revealed. That made me even more curious, right? The man indicates that her protection or alignment may have been with someone, possibly her husband Ron, or even a legal advisor, to shield the family. Psychically, Jan is most likely a quiet fixer. She's been loud in some things, but she tries to appear removed, but her energy is woven so deeply into this narrative, in this story. Her karmic lesson here is about facing what she's enabled and recognizing The protecting image or legacy at the expense of truth leads to collapse. Isn't that interesting? There's an opportunity here, though, for her to choose truth over silence, but it will come at a great cost and very uncomfortable for her, and exposure. So she's protecting her legacy, she's protecting her family, she's protecting that illusion of who this family is and what they're about, and more importantly, she is protecting her daughter. Let's talk about Ron. What is his purpose here? And initially my energy around Ron was kind of like, I almost wanted to protect him. So there's that. But I picked the mice, the tower, and the clover. So his spread, his card pull, is subtle, but deeply, deeply karmic. Mice shows anxiety, loss, possibly a draining of energy or reputation. And my feeling is this also is connected to his health. The tower suggests isolation. Again, I think it's due to his health, whether emotional or reputational, and also a structure being dismantled, which is pretty clear. This is what's happening. Clover shows moments of luck or reprieve that have kept him shielded so far. So I do kind of feel like Jan wants to protect him and his legacy as well. Psychically, Ron feels like someone who has distanced himself from the chaos, which I think he's done a lot throughout this family's history, which may contribute to Laura's stuff, but we're going to talk about that in another episode. And he likes to stay away from chaos, and he's been impacted anyway. So, his lesson is about discernment and detachment, and knowing when standing back becomes complicity. And I think there's some of this there. He may not have directly participated, but his presence enabled the illusion of control and normalcy. And also there's this karmic theme with him about, again, legacy versus integrity. So we're going to see what he's going to choose to protect. So it's going to be kind of an interesting thing, right? Because he's kind of in the public, he has been in the public eye, and I think his reporting and his integrity is one of the things that he was proud of. So this should be really interesting. All right, the sister in the shadow. Laura's sister. All right, well, her cards were man, birds, women, man, and scythe, and ring. Scythe is kind of a nasty card. I gotta find it for you. Gotta find it for you. Totally nasty card. I don't like it. I never like seeing it. If I can find it. If I can find it. Okay. This is what scythe looks like. Scary. Very cutting. Okay, so Sarah has been entangled, and it's between the conversations and the indecision. So the man and the woman flanking the birds shows that she's caught between two forces, possibly her sister, her mother, or a like father or male figure, and I'm kind of feeling like it's her husband. Like, stay out of this, right? I think he's like, we don't need this. The birds show stress and ongoing conversations, I think, that she doesn't want to be in, and a lot of pressure. So she could be receiving pressure from her family and pressure from her husband, and this is like, she's just trying to mediate or stay neutral, but her karmic lesson is about finding her voice. She's spent a lot of time afraid to use her voice, especially when it comes to this and her family dynamics. But she's afraid to disrupt that, which makes a lot of sense. If you've been in a dysfunctional family for so long and you're removed from them on the other side of the country and you have your own thing going on, it could be kind of like, I don't want anything to do with this. But her silence has created an emotional strain, and this is her moment to step into clarity, break the cycle of passive compliance. My feeling is we are going to see a lot of her in the trial, or some of her in the trial. We're going to see something from her, much to her dismay. Like she didn't want anything to do with this. I also had an additional card pull with her, the Man, Scythe, and Ring, because I wanted to go a little deeper with the sister here. Suggests a rupture or break in loyalty that may be coming, so she may choose to be honest and upfront. There may be a sharp decision on the horizon where she has to cut ties or end a commitment that no longer aligns with her values. So this should be interesting if we see this. If she speaks out against her sister and family, this will happen in court, and she will speak truth. She has to break the family agreement, these family secrets that need to come out. And I think there'll be more about, that will come out about her relationship with her sister and how their family life was. So her lesson here is liberation through truth, even if it's painful, and it creates a separation from the old structure. I also was very interested in the past pregnancy claims that Laura has made against other men. 2 of them were in this case. I don't really want to bring them up unless they're going to be part of the trial, and because I think they deserve peace. So I'm not going to use their names unless it comes out that they are going to be testifying or something in the trial. I'll be commenting on that psychically. But out of integrity and out of wanting them to have their own lives continue, I'm not going to mention them. Okay, so the cards I pulled were a book, bear, whip, another nasty card, coffin, tree, and a couple other pulls that I will mention when I get to that. So, of course, the pregnancy claims feel manipulative because we know they are. They're used to elicit sympathy, control, narratives, or deflection, attention. The coffin and the book and the whip show repeated false starts, concealed truths, and emotional weaponization of something deeply sensitive. And we have seen some of this come out in the information about how Laura has been manipulating men for a while now. The second pull was the clouds, ring, stork, and mountain, and those cards reveal even more. The clouds show confusion and emotional fog, and the truth around these claims have been intentionally obscured. The ring implies that these claims may have been tied to promises in relationships, possibly used to manipulate or secure commitment. So we've seen this. She's trying to secure commitment from someone. My feeling is that she probably really did love one of them that she was in a longer term relationship with and really wanted to secure that marriage, family life, that kind of thing. And her behavior led to the destruction and the demise of the relationship, and rather than taking it as I need to look at myself and I need to get support and help, she went on to do her manipulation routine and created a lot of problems for someone. So okay, so the stork indicates a theme of change or transformation, and that's, of course, a symbol of pregnancy. but it feels like it was used. And it's really interesting how these cards just freaking know. And like, I sometimes wonder if, because I'm invested and energetically invested in it, that the cards just support what I'm feeling. But I think from my first video, there were some things that I that went against what my agenda would be. Okay, let's just put it that way. All right. So the mountain suggests major resistance, blockages, or obstacles to truth being uncovered. So I think there was some problems, obviously, with that one of those relationships. I pulled again. The third pull was Tower, Coffin, and Garden, so I could have a little bit deeper context. Oh, man. Hold on. Hold, please. The Tower shows that this pattern okay, that was kind of weird. Little frog in my throat. Kind of wonder what that's about. So, the third pull, let's go back to that. Tower, Coffin, Garden. The Tower shows that this pattern has been tied to a need for control, detachment, or image management, which is interesting. There's a sense of emotional distance and an attempt to project authority, which kind of makes sense. She has the family has an image, and Laura, I think, wanted to live up to the image that her parents have, and that kind of prestige. And I don't remember what her sister does, but it sounds like her sister's pretty solid in her career. There's a sense of emotional distance and an attempt to project authority or untouchability. Well, we've seen this with Laura. The Coffin reappears again, reinforcing the idea that the truth was buried again and again. So my feeling is Laura knows the truth and continues to hide it, for, well, a lot of reasons, I'm sure. None that I can't touch on right now, but we'll explore her a little bit further in the next one. The Garden points to a desire to maintain a certain public persona, and these falsehoods, like she's done a TEDx talk, and she was in Chicken Soup for the Soul. She had a podcast. So I think that there's this idea that she was trying to build this public persona. So when these men didn't want to go further with her, especially in the relationship where I feel like she was really in love with this guy, and I think he cared a lot about her too. But, when you're Delulu and act like a nutbag, girl, you gotta ask yourself some hard-hitting questions. Like, no shame in getting some help, man. But, yeah. So, the psychic information that came to me was not every claim may have been false. And this is the past stuff. This is not necessarily with what's currently going on. But it appears that some were intentionally fabricated or exaggerated, which we know. That's why we're in this mess, right? So they were used to delay consequences, and my feeling is like a lot of the manipulation, especially in the case where she was with this guy for a while, like she knew that, the end was near, the road was ending, the relationship was expiring. She wanted to delay the consequences, so she manipulated this man by using pregnancy and medical stuff and whatever and whatnot to keep him sympathizing with her and staying with her, because this guy was a nice guy. Like, nice people don't want to hurt other people, even if Anyway, we'll talk about the energy of these guys, and I won't use their names. I'll just call them I'll give them different names. But I think it would be interesting to see the dynamics between them, especially this one. And all the men that we know about so far have moved on in their lives, have families, wives, and So, all right. This all also comes up as a strategy for her to keep herself, like she would weaponize this stuff so she could stay in this sort of narrative that she wanted to have, so she could use their vulnerability and use it to delay outcomes that she wasn't wanting. But here's the thing, is that the emotional karmic consequences are going to be long-lasting for this person. All right, so what's next for the family? That was the question I wanted to know. The cards I pulled were woman, bear, man, and crossroads. So as we can see that there's a karmic unraveling happening. The more that keeps coming to light, the family will face more scrutiny. And I think had they shut it down early with her, they may not, like the things that are going to be uncovered would never come to light. So relationships in this family are going to fracture and secrets will no longer hold. I think the mom will try to protect Laura, but her influence will weaken. The sister will face a choice, either quietly step away or step forward. And Ron will feel the weight of all that has been overlooked, and the family name will have lasting reputational damage. An additional pull, I pulled woman, bear, man, crossroads, and that highlights the key roles that each member play in this transformation. The woman and the bear points to strong maternal figure. When I saw the bear, I was just like, oh, Jan. Oh, Jan. Because she wields the emotional and financial power behind the scenes. She's the one that controls it. Man and crossroads show a major decision lies ahead for the central male figure, which could be Ron, regarding where he stands publicly or legally. And this also speaks to a collective choice for the family, whether to continue protecting the illusion or finally stepping into truth. The family system stands at a fork in the road. So psychically, this is a cleansing. This is an opportunity for this illusion to break apart, and what's been hidden for years will continue to surface. Now, this wasn't an easy episode to make, but if we want real healing, we have to look beyond the surface. Laura Owens didn't operate in a vacuum. And the energetic patterns around her show us a deeper story of enmeshment, denial, and protection. Let me know your thoughts below. Do you think the family had a deeper role? Have you noticed any signs of this in earlier stages in the case? Make sure to like and subscribe, and if you would want more grounded psychic insight as the story continues to unfold, stay tuned. There's more coming. So subscribe for psychic case updates and family karma readings. I'm your psychic girlfriend, Robin Richardson, and I will see you in the next one.